Good afternoon. Tax relief is here. The past few years have been challenging to the people of Jackson County, to say the least. The citizens have been shouldered the burden of confusing assessments, inconsistent messaging, and an overall lack of confidence in the process. That ends today. With a change in the administration, I'm here to share that real relief is coming. Take it back in time a little bit. On August 7th, 2024, the Missouri State Tax Commission issued an official order to the former Jackson County Executive. That order, pursuant to the powers vested in the State Commission by the Constitution and the statutes of the state of Missouri, directed the Jackson County government, including the executive, the Board of Equalization, and the assessor, to take specific corrective action. The State Tax Commission order applied directly to both the 2023 and 2024 assessment years. So for the past 3 years, our community has endured mixed messaging, confusion, and at times a chaotic and frustrating process that has impacted thousands of property owners. I have listened, we have learned, and we are taking action. My Jackson County assessing officials have been directed to correct the 2023 assessment roll to reflect the assessed valuations for all personal property parcels that do not exceed a 15% increase. This correction represents a significant and necessary step toward restoring public trust. And that is one of my major goals in this position. While it would be impossible to return funds already spent, as the county doesn't hold these funds, we don't hold the tax dollars in reserve. We are ensuring accountability and fairness moving forward. So, in coordination with the State Tax Commission's guidance, tax credits will be issued to impacted personal property owners over the next 3 years. This approach provides tangible relief while maintaining the county's fiscal stability. Now, let me be specific. This is not going to have anything to do with the 2025 tax bills that Jackson County people are going to get in the next few weeks, because there was already a State Tax Commission order of 2025 that this administration did follow that corrected those. So I want to make sure that everyone understands that. But as county executive, my commitment is to lead Jackson County toward a healthy, transparent, and sustainable financial future. This administration has met extensively with the Assessor's Office, the Board of Equalization, the State Tax Commission, and our legal and financial teams to ensure we are aligned and ready to move forward. Together, we will bring order to the assessment process, restore confidence in local government, and deliver fair and accurate valuations to Jackson County property owners. Relief is here, and accountability is part of that process, and it starts today. So anyone have any questions, I'll take those. Yes, ma'am.
With the results of the election yesterday, how is where does Gail's job stand?
Gail McCann Beatty will no longer be the assessor of Jackson County. I'll speak with Ms. McCann Beatty about that, and she's had the opportunity to give me her resignation, or she will be removed from office.
By what date? What was the deadline?
In the next 24 hours.
Personal property means residential
Regarding
property.
the tax credits being issued to residents, how will they receive those? How does that process work?
Yeah, tell me that again.
You mentioned the tax credits being issued. How does that process work? Can you go through that?
Yes, when they get their tax bill in the future, they will have a tax credit based on their overpayment broken over 3 years, and they'll have that third affected there. So they'll get a bill, and the bill will say you owe this much money, but you have a tax credit on that, so then there'll be the balance of what you owe that.
So you said you will correct the 2023 assessments to reflect the parcels that do not exceed a 15% increase. Can you explain how you all plan to do that? Correct.
Yes, and it's really easy to make this announcement of the policy, but implement it is a whole other issue to put together. The state tax commission order that I want all of you to get a copy of, that my office will get to you, goes through a lot of findings of what the former assessments did in not providing physical inspection, notice, and all that type of thing. So we're following the state tax commission order. That's our game plan. So to address your specific problem, we're going to adjust those 2023 parcels, and they'll get notification in the future about what the tax assessment value is.
So what will that mean for people when it comes to those next bills? Obviously, you said not 2025, but the years after.
They're going to get a tax bill that was correct, that was supposed to be the value that they got before, and they will see what they overpaid, and they'll get a tax credit in the next year. Now, we're getting into the process and the weeds about it here, but we might even be sending out some information to taxpayers and parcel property owners within the springtime or something. I want to get notice out. I want people to understand it's confusing to us to get it done, and I'm going to make it as less confusing to them as I can. So I don't want to wait until next November and they get a tax bill and they wait a second, we were supposed to do something with this. So I'm working on that.
How does Tyler Technologies come into play going forward?
Tyler Technologies has been a county contract company we've been working with. We still have a contract with them. They're still providing us with data, so we'll still keep working with them.
For how long?
We'll still keep working with them.
Okay.
Well, the class action lawsuit is ongoing, and I know there's a mediation, and they currently have a motion to stay until November 7th. Are you anticipating that to be concluded by the county, or what do you think?
I'll tell you this, because it's litigation, so I always have to make sure that I take off my county executive hat and put on my lawyer hat, but I've got lawyers. So that it is current. There's current litigation from property owners asking the county to do what I just did, that they filed years before. So I anticipate that litigation will go away. The specifics of the settlement and how we do that, or if it's dismissed, or what the party's doing that, are going to be something I'll have the lawyers figure out. But that litigation was filed on behalf of taxpayers asking them to do what I just did.
So let me just make sure I understand it. Anybody whose personal property went up by one.
Now, when I say personal property, we're talking about yeah, because when I say personal property, I don't mean personal property, cars and stuff. We're only talking about real estate, residential real estate.
So residential real estate that went up by more than 15% in 23 is now going to get knocked down to 15%?
You make it too simple for me, Charlie. So, yes, essentially, the state tax commission order has directed us of how to do that, how to get to that solution and conclusion. So, essentially, yes, but we'll follow the order on what they've directed us to do.
But if you're one of those property owners who saw a big increase in 23, you don't have to do anything. The county's going to handle it for me.
We're going to find out, did you make an appeal? Did you like that appeal? Are you done with that appeal? Or are you still appealing? We still have some things in front of the BOE. Those appeals are pending. So when the Board of Equalization looks at this and they decide that they're following this tax commission, that might take care of some appeals. And they might be able to enter some stipulations. You know, the Board of Equalization is a board that I appoint as a county executive, but they're an independent board. And they will take the appeal, and then their appeal, not to get too deep in the weeds, they hear the thing, and if they don't like what they hear there, they go to the state tax commission. So it's almost like a judicial thing where you take an appeal. So I'll let the Board of Equalization deal with it, and I know they're very good people that are following this. And I think I'll tell you this: everybody's been looking for us to get along. Everybody's looking for us to get on the same page, and to get the state tax commission people come up from Jeff City today and sit in my office and say, "Wow, this is refreshing. We're getting along." And to follow the law and follow what's right by the people of Jackson County. And to hear the BOE say, yeah, this is great that we're getting along. And my assessment people, and my people in finance, my people in collection, who say, boy, this is going to be a real pain in the ass to do, Phil. But they say, this is what we're supposed to do. It's going to be hard work, but we're supposed to do this by the people of Jackson County. It's so encouraging and enlightening to have that.
Phil, without Gail McCann-Beatty in this office, meaning there's an assessor position open, what are you going to do about that?
They're very qualified people in the assessment. We have some chief deputy assessors that are going to be able to step up and do a fantastic job. I'll work on the process of selecting another assessor.
So you will be able to appoint someone even with this question passed yesterday?
Yeah, let's make sure we understand what passed yesterday. What passed yesterday is change the charter to make the county assessor an elected position in 2028. It doesn't change any of the power of the county executive until then. On January of 29, whoever's in my position will not have the same authority that I have today to correct errors and supervise the assessor. It'll be a whole different ballgame. But nothing from that, what the people voted on yesterday, does anything to affect my authority under the charter to correct errors in assessment.
How soon do you plan to have someone in that office?
I will always do what I've done in the last 3 weeks. I'll take my time to assess and look around and look for quality people.
And you've talked about relief for residential property owners. Regarding commercial property tax assessments, we've talked to people who said they've seen hikes from $3,000 to $25,000, and just the difference just recently of $10. What is your thoughts on how you will address in commercial property tax assessments?
Again, it's easier to say than do or find it out. So, for example, there was a property owner that they got a commercial evaluation and the difference was $10. Well, come to find out, their 2025 didn't go up as much. They had some terrible problems back in 23, and the 2025 wasn't over 15%, and maybe it was 17%. So that adjustment that we just did of the caps of the 2025, 15%, those are correct. There still might be some issues we dig into on commercial. I just don't know, and I'm taking it one bite at a time. But I want to make sure that everyone understands that one example, I actually talked to that property owner, and they said, well, you're right. My 23 was bad. My 24 wasn't bad. 25 was 17%. And then you sent me something that lowered it from that 17% to 15, like we decided for 2025. Again, I'm giving it way too much in the weeds, and my head's spinning on talking to you about it. But I want to make sure I'm clear.
What was it that made you decide to part ways with Gail McCann?
Oh, simply that I'm in this position to restore faith in government. The people lost confidence in Gail McCann Beatty. I'm not here to comment on her personally. I don't even want she's a job she did. I think she's a good person. The recall election September 30th of 85% was a recall of Frank White and I think a recall of Gail McCann Beatty. I'm sure you guys reported on something yesterday. 88% of the citizens want it. That's a reflection of the former administration and I think of the current assessor. And then, frankly, I'd answer this question I don't know if from you, Charlie, someone else. I didn't weigh in on it before. I was asked about what I thought about it, and I said I didn't want to weigh in. I didn't want to dissuade or encourage anyone from voting yesterday, and I did not want to make any personnel changes before that also. I came into this office with the understanding that there needed to be people that left, that I need to restore confidence, and I think they had lost confidence in the appraiser or the assessor, and this was the time to do it.
Where do things stand with the commercial property taxes in those letters? I know some business owners have started to get those letters, but with getting, they're supposed to be getting those tax bills right now, so what do you guys all doing right
Boy, and this has been a process too. So I'm going to stay out of the weeds on it, but they're getting a tax bill, but they're also going to get a letter from me saying, by the way, this might not be right. We're looking at it, and here's what we think it is. So you're going to either agree to this or not. So the information we're giving to the taxpayers, that's the most important thing. So they're going to get it. And we're going to have contact. We're going to have people who are going to call and say, this isn't right. We're going to look at it, and we're going to pull it, and it's not done. It's not one and done. This administration is going to talk to people and work with people and make sure their questions are answered.
So even if they've agreed to an appeal and they want that?
Well, that's a good question that I didn't want you to ask me today. We're going to talk about the finality of issue too. So if you went to court and you did something, you agreed, and you walked away, I'm not going to open that all back up. But I am going to talk to people that maybe said, I felt like I was coerced to do X, Y, and Z. I have an elderly woman that said she agreed to this, and I don't think I got a fair shake. So I say that being that if you went and you agreed and you sat down and you made a stipulation, you pled your case, and you agreed to it, I'm not opening all those back up. But I am going to be listening to anyone that has issues, if that makes sense. And that's a really fluffy policy, but that's the way I feel. And that, any other questions, I'm going to let you, yes, sir.
Just want to make sure I'm hearing it right. The residential, people are going to get letters maybe in the spring saying you're going to get a credit see that in their bill?
See, that's me misspeaking process to you, getting ahead of the game. I'm telling you that any overpayments where we adjust their values, they are not going to get a refund. They're going to get a tax credit over the next 3 years. I don't know how we're going to inform the property owners of that. I'm just spitballing here. Maybe we do something, but that's not anything specific. I'm telling you we're doing.
If it's the
Okay.
next 3 years, would you say it would be next year? What are you expecting?
Next year, yeah, every next 3 years. Yep. Okay, split into 3 years. So that chunk will be split over 3 years. Anything else?
Tax credits for commercial businesses.
Can I get done with this thing and go with these questions? My answer is always. This tax issue is not a one property person type issue. It's loss of government trust and being treated poorly. So if we need to change some policy and address policy for different types of property owners, we're going to look into it.
Are you guys from the State Tax Commission? No.
This is Chris Whiting, my chief of policy director,
Chief policy.
chief policy guy.
Yeah.
Jen Nussbeck, Office of Communications Director. See, I don't get their titles right. Steve Arbo, County Administrator.
Oh,
Huh?
got that.
Brian Kavinsky, the best county counselor in Jackson County. And Angie Jeffers, who runs our communication office and that type of thing with Jennifer. So those are people that are watching.
Copy of your statement?
You can get one emailed, but I've scribbled this one up.
That's fine.
Yep. Okay. And we're going to have a different conference room, too, than this, too. But so,
Wait,
Yeah.
how can people contact your office? What's the best way to contact them if they want to
why do they want to contact me?
start reaching out about these appeals and their assessments and all those things? Will there be a way for them to easily contact?
Yes, there will be. We'll have it on the website and people to contact if they have questions about within the next week.
Okay, so in the next 24 hours, Gail's picture will not be up on the website.
I told y'all I'm going to tell you about Gail. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.